Hi, and welcome to Grandad on Enfield. Today we're looking at the bikes I have and the house I live in. So, these are my bikes, these are the bikes I like. I have an apartment on the side of the house, and that's my garage. You'll notice something different about my house to every other house in this area. White house, white house, white house, white house, and grey house. Who wants to be the same as everyone else, huh? So, this is a follow-on video kind of the we don't want your type here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to look through the internet in a minute. And we're going to have a look at bikes that fit the criteria, but I don't think would fit the image of the vintage bikes. To me, anyhow. Now, my son has virtually no interest in bikes. So I asked him anyhow what he liked, and he doesn't like Japanese bikes, by which he meant he doesn't like fully fared bikes. He was enamoured by the Indian and the DGR. And my daughter then, she remembers seeing a CBR 600, let's say the late 90s, in black and pink, and she's been obsessed with them since. She's never driven one, but that's what she likes. So we'll go and have a look and see what's available. Now, someone accused me of clickbait, but here's the MVMCCC homepage. Now, I don't know, can you see it, but this is the actual page. You won't be able to see it, so I'll have to read it out, unfortunately. We're holding our 33rd Inchigila motorcycle run on the 10th of May. Next, for entry form, click here. We've noticed over the last few years modern motorcycles are appearing on the run. We want to emphasise this is a veteran, vintage and classic motorcycle run with a 1995 cut-off date. It is a condition of our insurance that motorcycles at our event are over 30 years old. Now my first point with that is that everyone on the road has to have their own insurance. There's no insurance separate to tell you it's vintage but besides the point anyhow. Please comply with these regulations or your entry must be refused. Lunch numbers for the hotel, so you actually can't book a lunch number for the hotel if you don't have a vintage bike. Again, don't understand it. Entry fee is €10. Payment on methods outlined on the entry form. And then one of the conditions on our IVS insurance is that MVMCCC members are also members of the IVS. If you're a paid up member of the Monster Vintage Motorcycle and Car Club and intend to participate in the run, please inform us prior to the event. If you are not already registered, we will forward your name to the IVS for registration. Now, here's a funny thing as well. We're looking for someone to do breakdown duty. If you have a van or car and trailer and willing to do breakdown, please contact details on entry form. Now, the car and vans that do it are not vintage. They're not. They're modern cars. There was a fellow in the Skoda doing it the last time. So it's kind of at odds. I'm not doing clickbait. I'm not doing anything that's not. When we were below the line and there was three of us in, we were like the naughty boys in the corner. It really did feel like you're put on the naughty step for coming in on bikes that weren't vintage. Now, on a happier note, we're going to look through what is vintage and what isn't vintage. Well, mainly what's vintage, how much it cost. And all the bikes are for sale currently on Dundeal.ie. So that's the next bit. Okay, what we're going to do today is have a bit of fun. And we'll vote on which bikes. I showed you my two bikes at the start of the video. I'm going to have a bit of fun and see which bikes you'd prefer to see at a vintage run and which you wouldn't. Now, these are all bikes currently for sale on Dundeal.ie. There you have 1980 BMW 650. I suppose classic enough looking, but okay, move on. Now this is where for me it starts getting a bit sullied, so to speak. Nice. All these bikes, by the way, fit the criteria of going on the vintage run, so it's 95 or older. It's a 92 Ducati. No, nice bike, but not sure about the colour actually. So we have BMW, we have a Ducati. Then the Harley fits the criteria. I think only just as far as I can remember. 1993. So, run through just a couple more. Yeah. 1993 Honda CBR 650F. See, this thing, I don't think these look very classic, to be honest with you. But they fit the criteria, so they're allowed to go on the runs. Well, there's nothing to stop you from going on the runs anyhow. They run on public roads, so they will sometimes they get a bit ahead of themselves now. They get to move and everything. The classic car event in York, 25th of May. And the description of it, I actually have a little video of that. Farrell's Bar. Strictly pre-96 vehicles, only over 30 years old. That was for cars and bikes. Oh, another one. BMW F650. The same colour as the one I had. And she's 1994, so she fits the criteria. Now, of course, this will definitely fit it. Get some details on it. She's a 1967 Bonneville 650. No mention of mileage. Now the problem, as you can see there, That's your left foot brake. So it's a right foot gear change. And a kickstarter. And a way to start it. That, to be honest, is as well with some of these bikes, especially the old British ones, you have, the gearboxes are different. It's up for first and down for first, and you know, so if you're riding a couple of bikes, it makes it very hard to for the first couple of or first 20 minutes or so to figure out what way you're going. There you go, vintage Vespa. She's a 5250, 1977, 200, new paint job, fast bike. No, it's not. These are all just bikes I saved onto my save. This is exactly, sorry, 1993 German import. Now, tell me that's more classic looking than my Bullet. And I'll happily disagree with you. So what we'll do is vote for what bikes you think are classic and which aren't. There's a Shovelhead Harley there for some of these are sold. No, they're not. There you go, look. This fits the classic, but even at €600, I think it's a Brazilian made, isn't it? But again, you have a H5TA Triumph Speed Twin. Yeah, left foot brake. Yeah, left foot brake and right foot gear change. Oh, left foot gear change and right foot brake. No, right foot right foot gear change, left foot brake. 1965, £5,000. It was €73 Euro. So of course she obviously fits the criteria, but the sidecar's on the wrong way. That's a foreign registration plate. And if anyone knows anything about the Irish changeovers now, they're after making it. He was looking for 4, he dropped it to 3. Or she dropped it to 3, whoever's selling it. CB 360, 37, 1974. A power valve 125, 89, 3250. Triumph T120, 1973, you can see all the figures there. So, just try and get some 1991 GSXR 1100. Yeah, she's not very classic looking in my eyes, to be honest. And then my laptop decides to play up. Yes. Of course it would. Like, I would consider this a bit more classic looking into the sports bikes. Triumph Thunderbird 300 900cc. She's 1999, so she doesn't qualify for it either. Skip on to page 3. CLR, or CL, sorry, 125, Honda's 1973. Triumph, CG, we've done these. Triton Terrors, big money. Tricylinder, 1972, 8.5 grand. There's your BSA Dandy, 1958, €1,200. I don't think they were €12. Nice little MZ125. I don't think it's running though for €950. Kawasaki KZ750, 1983. Another Bonnie, 8950. And this one I hate altogether, but somebody might like it. That's what I'm always saying about when you're customising a bike, you do it your own taste, but I don't like bikes with bits chopped off. I don't like no front mudguard because, believe it or not, it actually rains in Ireland, and I've driven without front mudguards on bikes, and you won't be long getting bored of it, picking grit out of your face and everything. So, well, here's a real, nobody, no matter what show you went to, couldn't tell you not to bring this one in. You have a bone shaker, 1879 I think, or 1870. I don't know what you could do with it, it's just an ornament, see. There's not a lot of breakdown, so I suppose you could use it, but wood wheels with steel rims. $1870s, the bone shaker, a grand. You know, do you hang it on the wall or what? It's hard to do the two things at once. Yeah, here now this. Three 250 1993. ZZR 1100. Disqualifies, as I say, for classic vintage ones. So it's just my point that I think lots of newer bikes look more retro than that. Okay, so we'll leave it at that, and just for a bit of fun we'll have a vote. And you tell me your favourite bike and what bikes you think should be vintage and not. I'll see you in the next one. Okay, be safe, get home and ride your own ride. Grandad on Enfield.